So, my name is Bima, Wahyu, Narendhra, and I'm from Senior High School to Trenggalek. So, the motion is this House regarding mergers and acquisition within tech industries. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have 3 points of rebuttal. So, come to my first point of rebuttal. They said that merger and acquisition can be limiting consumer to access to privacy. It will be selling their data and database of this kind of company will control in third you. I think I'm not agree with that because of what? In the fact it is in the status quo, it's already sell whatever condition of it, whatever the merger and acquisition exists or not, but it's already sell. And if you're doing it like that, the customer will get the best facilities of this kind of mergers and acquisition, just like a facility like a discount and so on and so forth. And also of that, the company already gave them information like term and service, and it already gave especially for the consumer. I think that was enough to make the consumer to have the decision if they are accepting this kind of term and service or not. So it will be risky to sell their data, but the benefit that they given is also to like the facilities and all those kind of things. I think will be given more the benefit, especially for the customer itself. Come to my second point of rebuttal. So they say that it will be deleting of another competitor, and it will be creating some domination of this kind of environment of the business. I think that was true, but I think we have something like a reasonable argument which is more better than them. So if we're talking about business, if we're talking about trading, I think there is an additional trade-off to given to them, and also we get some kind of it in order to the opposite. So if you're doing such kind of merger and acquisition, we will get a better technician. With the technician, better facilities, better funding, and so on and so forth. And you know that is not going to happen if we are do not just call a merger. How to important about technician, especially for us as a startup, because with technician we can improve our innovation, improving our product, and so on and so forth. That we can be bigger if you are doing merger and acquisition. So the example is the situation of YouTube to acquisition with the Google, so that YouTube can be improving by share their technician from the Google and so on and so forth. So another one is you will get a new market of it, can reach another market that you never think about. The example is the Gojo, which Gojek with Tokopedia itself. It will create a new market, new customer, which make the situation of the company will be better. So if there is a situation, if you're doing not some kind of merger, you won't get some funding, which funding is needed especially for innovation itself. If you're not getting funding, everything that is going on in your startup company will be collapsed and so on and so forth, and all those innovation will be lower than the others company who has a lot of funding, a lot of innovation itself. So for example, like a Snapchat situation right now is getting lower than the Instagram, but in fact both kind of company has the same facilities like the filters, like and so on and so forth. But in fact, Instagram has a lot of customers because their acquisition with the Facebook itself. So come to my third rebuttal, ladies and gentlemen. So they said that it will be creating worker going to be more violation, and so it will be disadvantage especially for the worker of that kind of company. I think I'm not agree with that, because if there's a company to do some merger, it will be creating that company, quality of the company become bigger, which is making a more creating of job employment. And if you're thinking about if you're going to work in this kind of company, a big company to do a merger, our welfare will be more guaranteed. It's like a social economy and also for rather than live in a small company or work in a small company if which you know now a startup company will give us just like small wages. And we are believing a violation won't be happen if the company realizing that if their company can bigger, they need a more worker. So that we are believing that we are using a merger and acquisition, it will be increasing the quality of worker, not only for social, but also the quality of worker itself, ladies and gentlemen. So ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 points of argument, and the first one is what is justified to do some merger and acquisition, and the second one is what is the benefit if you're using a merger and acquisition. So come to my first argument, why it is justified to do some kind of merger and acquisition. Because in fact, ladies and gentlemen, a small company or startup company need an innovation to get another customer, so the customer also give them feedback and so on and so forth. And one most the problem with startup company, they are limited because of the funding, of the money and so on and so forth. Because if you're got limited of, so that how to import of innovation, ladies and gentlemen, innovation is really needed, especially for startups, so that their startup company will be improving, will be increased and so on and so forth. If we are limit of innovation, the company will be collapsed, the company will be died, so that the funding is important, especially for the startup company. So then we need to merger to our acquisitions to one big company so that we can get a funding itself. But with the feedback what we had after we are doing merger and acquisition, we can get such kind of like better situations, like we can share such kind of like the initiative and so forth, so that we can have the moments to innovation something. But at the end, feedback from the customer, we can get another customer, and the customer will get the best innovation that we had as a startup company. Just like in YouTube we can get the best technicians can be improving, so that YouTube can watch a best video and so forth, which is to make it customer will be justified. So come to my second argument, what is the benefit of your doing some merger and acquisition? So the benefit in the first one, you can get innovation by introducing by another market, or maybe there's kind of situation which it can make a diversity of product. So the example is we are seeing right now in YouTube can have facility in YouTube Premium, but in fact we can use it some facilities from Google, just like Google Pay, to pay some kind of facilities in YouTube. So that both of them, you can create another market of it, and both the company will have situation be better, and the customer will get the best facilities that they have for it. Second, come to my second benefit, can help improving their product easier, because there is two kind of company, it will be share technician, share kind of information and so on and so forth. The example is just like both kind of company will own it by the Facebook, like WhatsApp and Instagram. But in the situation right now, WhatsApp has the facilities as the WhatsApp stores. That the first one is only happening in Instagram, so that Instagram can share the technicians their facilities into to do a WhatsApp, so that both of them can have such kind of like a better innovation, so that they can get another of customer. So the last benefit is consumer will justify, because all this kind of regional of this kind of the impact of merger and acquisition. Customer will get a discount, get best facilities that they had for the merger and acquisition. Even they're selling the data and so forth, but the benefit that they had is bigger than bigger than the risk that they spend it for. So besides, to compare with them, which there's a situation the merger and acquisition doesn't exist. So then especially the small company, it will be getting collapsed, because less of the funding itself, and the innovation won't be happen because the funding doesn't exist anymore, and at the end customer won't be justified at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that was enough for my speech, and thank you.